Hey, what is up, good people? How you doing? Welcome back to Stock Up with Larry Jones. Go ahead, hit that like, subscribe, and that notification bell as we heard the Fed, his decision. His decision was to keep interest rates right where they are. So there was a stay on interest rates, no cuts, no hikes. And I believe that was the right thing to do. Most analysts believe it was the right thing to do. It was already baked in. So says the market. If you look at the stock market right now, the S&P, Dow, and Nasdaq, it all said that was a good move. You know what? Let's add BTC to that. Yeah, everything says it was a good move. Now, Bitcoin, you guys know, negative 22 points is nothing. That's flat. All right. So, but we had the VIX. The VIX was spiking. Let's see if we can get the VIX. The VIX was spiking just before, and it kind of cooled down. It was spiking. So we got the S&P flat, the Dow flat, Nasdaq flat. But you saw what happened here. Okay, the VIX spiked up, boom, right in the middle of the day. And then what happened? As the Fed was dovish in his tone to me, if you ask me, the VIX started to come all the way back down. So it spiked as much as 5%. The VIX spiked. That's the orange one at the top, right? And so volatility, it was just kind of like on the sidelines, waiting to spike, waiting for a gotcha question. And he dodged them, all right? He dodged all of the gotcha questions. So when the Fed stayed, there's a couple of things I want you to see. All right. Most of the Fed members voted for the rate cuts for the rates to stay right where they are. Right now, Microsoft has their earnings out as we speak. Okay. Well, let's just go right to that. Right. Microsoft earnings. Okay. Boom. Microsoft earnings are out. Key points. Microsoft received here we go. Microsoft shares fell 7% in extended trading. Whoa. Earnings per share, 414 adjusted versus 3.9 expected. Revenue, we can see that. 81 versus 80. All right. But Microsoft's revenue grew by 17% year over year in fiscal second quarter, which ended in December. So, guys, it's all about expectations. This is what I want to show you guys. It's all about expectations. So why I'm making this video, if some more news comes out, more earnings come out, which there are big tech earnings right now, right behind the Fed meeting, then I'm just going to bring them to you. Okay. So let's go back to some of the Fed key points. Okay. So Fed Powell says to the next chair, stay out of elected politics, right? That was one of the things he said. Inflation will top out. And this is when he said inflation will top out. Tariff inflation will top out in the middle quarters of the year. That's what Fed Powell says. Let me know what you think about that. Then he said the best thing we could do, look at this. He said, best thing we could do for affordability is keep inflation at 2%, which is his target. Now we have Meta earnings out. Boom. There we go. Hey, right while here we go. All right. Earnings per share, 888 versus 823 estimate revenue. Okay. So let's see what's happening with Meta. All right. We'll check Meta. Yep. We'll check Meta. Let's go here. Let's just click that out. This is live, good people. Let's see what's happening in the Meta in the after hours. We are down on Meta. We're down on Meta. Okay. So that's what's going on. We're down. All right. So I'm just going to read through some of the things the Fed said because we got earnings just coming out. So most of the Fed members voted yes on staying the rates. Okay. Jobs are stabilizing. All right. The Fed refused to take any questions about the next Fed, the politics, what the president thinks. He refused to answer any of that. Now, some talking heads said that that's all he was going to talk about, and he had none of it. Expectations for inflation is around 2%. The last cut was because of weakening job markets, or should I say labor markets, and he sees that they are stabilizing, so he is holding. All right. So, and then he said, I said, stay out of politics. Okay. But remember this, good people. The Fed has count them, 1, 2 more FOMC meetings, and then he's done. He's a lame duck Fed right now, right? And so he really don't have to do anything. It's a lame duck market. So now you can see Meta and after hours have just cooled off. All right, we were negative, now we're positive. So Meta is flat. Now, here's one of the things I want to share with you guys. A lot of people ask me both here on YouTube and Money Moves, hey, are you doing any calls before earnings? Are you doing any puts before earnings? And I always say no, because you're gambling. So here's what's happening. No, because you are nothing but gambling. Right now, we were down. This is pretty much flat. And before this is over, we'll probably get more earnings that will come out. Now, here's another thing I want to share with you guys. When I tell you guys about Oaklo that I brought to the family, I was one of the first on this platform to talk about Oklo, USAR, the USAR warrants. You guys, a lot of you guys made a lot of money with us. When I talk about USAR, Oaklo, ETFs, or any other stock, QUBT, Rigetti, IONQ, when I talk about these stocks, I also give buy ranges. And then a lot of times you get a hype pump. If the president mentioned it, blah, 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 or a new deal, then they cool off and people go, oh, you talked about it, now it's down. Well, my followers in Money Moves know that here's my buy range. And we buy in those ranges, and these are long-term, some of them. So now Oaklo is long-term for me now because it has established footing. Oaklo and USAR are long now. And now we're going to get back into quantum computing, but we want to make sure it's a solid company, right? We want it to be on a solid foundation. Now, I'm going to go to Oaklo. And while we were looking at it as the Fed was speaking, we found out, I wanted to show guys that with this traffic trader, if you could drive, you could trade. We went on a 2-day. If you go to the weekly, now this we use for option scalp trading, but it also does well for long-term investing. Okay. So now this is the weekly. And on this weekly, you could see that there was a red light here, right? And the red light, it went down, but then we printed a green light right here. So had you got it on this green light, you could have picked it up about 35 bucks, right? And this is Oaklo, ticker symbol OKLO. If you could drive, you could follow this. Green light. Usually there's 3 ticks, but remember, each tick is a week. So had you bought it right here at about 35, it carried you all the way to where it is right now, 94. As a matter of fact, it carried you higher than that because right here, yellow light means that there's a reversal coming. And then if you sold here, you would have sold at 143. So my traffic trader could have took you from $35 to $143 on a long-term investment, okay? So I just wanted you guys to see that, all right? Money Moves is going to be the top link below. It's the only place you can get the traffic trader. If you join the community, you get the trader. And we use it for scalp trading, okay? I was laying in bed this morning. Okay. All right. Microsoft. All right. We got Microsoft. They're coming in. They're coming in. Microsoft shows gain on OpenAI. Blah, 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 blah. Growth. Ooh, Microsoft shares fell 7% in extended trading on Wednesday after software issue. The quarterly results that were healthier than analysts had anticipated. This is what I'm talking about. Look at this. Earnings per share, 414 adjusted versus 3.97, right? So what's the problem? Revenue, 81.27 billion versus 80.27 billion expected. So what's the problem? Microsoft revenue grew 17%. You can see it. You can read all, you can go through all of this. But what's happening? Shares fell. Is that correct? Let's see. Microsoft. Sorry about that, good people. We just got news coming out of there. Let's put Microsoft here. All right, so we went over Meta. Let's go to Microsoft. Okay. Yep, there it is, good people. Down 5% in the after hours. And so when people ask me all of the time, Larry, are you doing options? Are you doing calls or puts before? Now, this could, they're going to talk. This could rebound and come back, but not in this cycle. I'm just not gambling. So right now, if you're doing calls or puts based on earnings or just before earnings, you're just gambling. I'm just going to keep it real. All right, good people, listen, go ahead, come and join us. I'll be live tomorrow morning, live training in Money Moves. It's going to be the only link in this video, okay? And so we want to keep our ears to the wind, see what the Fed is saying. He only has 2 more. He's done. This market is frothy, but it's continually going up. And we are going to trade the market that we are in until something different happens. Yes, I have a pile of cash still waiting, and I'm holding that. But there are some stock that we are DCAing in, and we buy weekly, okay? And so come follow us, and we're going to help you guys build out a good portfolio. Meanwhile, we're going to make some money scalp trading. All right? I'll see you on Friday. Live, love, laugh, and learn.